Check, check, check.
So I said...
Uh-huh.
No, I'm kidding. I said that.
Landon, can you hear that?
What? The central heating in our brand new studio?
We need to talk to someone about that.
Who?
Who's the handyman around here?
Oh. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, redlining already. Not like the real estate thing where they keep out the people
Right,
they don't want.
no, we don't want to.
No.
And I'm still doing it.
He's still doing it.
I'm not doing the other thing.
No.
And I always thought, well, if you're...
And back up. You always thought...
I always thought it can't be, redlining makes me think of Twizzlers, and then I get hungry.
Yeah.
And then I Googled it. And if you're just listening to this podcast, you might not realize that I just did a little something called a take.
Yeah, a gym. Mm-hmm. Slap into a Sam Jam. Mm-hmm. Slap into a Sam Jam. Mm-hmm. It's popularized in the series The Orifice. Where Jim, who's an actor, there's an actor named Jim, and he played a character called Jim Caviezel on the show The Orifice, and he would look into camera when someone... So there's another character called White, and he would sometimes...
What's his real name?
Well, the actor that played him?
Oh, his name is White.
The character is called White. The actor that played him is called Precipitation... Wilson.
From my point of view here, you look like a 12-year-old sitting at the big kids' table.
That's kind of what we're going for here.
That's the show. We're just a couple kids at the big table. We haven't earned our spot yet, but we're trying.
Well, and here's the thing. You ever watch a romantic comedy?
No.
And you bring the guy, you're like, oh, God. So she brings the guy to her best friend's son's birthday.
Or Samantha's son, Timothy. This is White.
And he's like, I don't know how to do parties. We just met, and you're pregnant with my seed.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to go to a birthday party for your best friend who's going to hate me?
And then they find out that it was a mix-up because she got the wrong seed because she froze her eggs. And then I think Jason Bateman did something unsightly into a cup.
Yes. Well, and then it was Vince Vaughn, wasn't it? And he did it so many times that he had a billion kids.
I got a billion kids. You put them around the table. I got a billion. We all sit at the table. We all eat shrimp together. We all like shrimp and grits. Who likes shrimp and grits? We like shrimp and grits. The Vaughn family. We're all Vaughns. It's me, Vince Vaughn.
So, but they go to the birthday party anyway.
Yeah.
And the best friend, who's going to hate him because she's ruining her best friend's life, looks over and sees that he's sitting at the kids' table making her kid laugh his tiny, tiny, tiny shirt off.
He takes the kids... He's got a sandwich on his plate, and she sees him start to touch it, and she's like, what the F?
Get this guy out of here.
He lifts up the top piece, and he takes out the piece of bologna in the middle, and he bends it in half, and then he bites a hole in the middle of the kid's bologna, and then he bends it somewhere else and bites 2 more holes, and he holds it up to his face, and he goes,
2 more.
I am Satan, hear me roar.
Yeah.
And the kid's like,
And then she looks at Samantha, and she goes, Samantha? I think I like him. Is that crazy?
And Samantha says, I've made a new friend, and so have my 2 other friends. We've all made new friends.
And then they look over, and he takes another kid's piece of bologna off his sandwich. And they're like, doing it again?
Yeah.
And he folds it, and then he takes a pencil, and he sticks it through the bologna. And he says, that's how time travel could work. It's not so much time travel, it is space travel.
That's what always confused me about that movie. I'm like, that's not time, that's space travel. Because if you think of space, you think of all of space. Okay, this is going to be hard for people listening, but everyone on camera is going to get this. You think of space as an X. Okay, and so one way is time and the other is distance. If you took that and you and that was bologna, and you wrapped it, you stuck, and you had a pencil. You're the pencil.
You're the pencil.
Number 2. Is it? All right.
Come on, dude. It's not that kind of show.
Landon, that joke was so dirty you were almost having to get out the fresh lemon antibacterial wipes that are sponsoring this show.
Instant, fresh and clean. 80 wet wipes, lemon scent. Quick and easy hand cleaning.
I love that song. They try to make me get a wet wipe, but I say no.
You're going to want one for what's about to happen.
What? Why?
Come here.
Oh.
And that's the type of joke we can't do anymore. Because now we have voyeurs.
Yep. Oh, and the people, I was going to say, the people at home now know that a lot of the sound effects we do aren't real.
Yeah. They think it's a board.
Hey, when I was a kid, I think the first joke I ever made was we passed by the Board of Education, and I said, yeah, me too. Mm-hmm. My parents were like, what? I was like, Board of Education. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Because when you're an adult, you don't see things like that.
When you're adult, you don't get it the way that a kid does.
You look at each house as if it's a listing on Zillow. You don't see the name on it.
Right.
You just look at it and you're like, 102,000, 103,000.
Yeah. Well, back then, houses were cheaper.
105,000.
Yeah, like
you could buy a house. This is what the older generation doesn't get. And I'm sorry to do this.
Okay.
And maybe we should discuss what's going on in this room.
Well, in our brand new studio.
But the older generation doesn't get this. They say, I went to college. I bought a house. Yeah, well, guess what? When you bought a house, they were only, what, $200,000? How much was college education?
$200,000?
Exactly.
Free.
Get out of here.
Go to Switzerland where they're doing it better than we are.
Cookie Monster go to Sweden.
What?
Cookie Monster go to Sweden, eat cookie.
I'm sorry, Joey. What?
Cookie Monster go to Sweden all day long. Cookie Monster loves Sweden. Sweden, sweet, Sweden, sweet eating. Cookie Monster loves sweet eating. We're flying over the site where a mad monster blue man has started eating our residents. As we take you closer, he's eating us, Mommy. Do not let him eat you, Boris.
And that's the problem with the left. They've radicalized Cookie Monster.
Thank you.
So we have a new. All of the Patreon bucks have come in, and we've decided, you know what? Let's finally start putting it back into the show. We'll get a studio space. This is something we've always had, but for the first time, we'll show you what it looks like. Right?
Well, and if you're listening to this podcast, why don't we just say, we got a camera in here.
Oh, yeah, there's a camera here, so you can watch us stare at each other as we do a Cookie Monster thing.
Yes, if you go to our YouTube, you can log in, youtube.com, go to Not Good, Not Bad Productions, or just look up Lunch Break and scroll.
Yeah.
Hey, are you a scroll?
I'm a scroll.
What are they, like Kias and Scrolls?
Yeah, it's the Kias or the Scrolls.
So if you scroll through and you go to our YouTube, you will find a video of us doing the podcast live. So if you have ever wanted to know what it looks like, well, I'm about to do something. All right.
Okay.
Chairs are kind of small.
Chairs are small, table big, but at least the space is beautiful, and sound-wise, exquisite. It's exquisite because we take pride in our show. We're not going to be in a cavernous sort of studio space that, you can hear the echo off of my mic and Joey's mic and vice versa. You're not going to be able to hear the central heat unit kick on. And if you were, that wouldn't be a bad thing.
What is it? Yeah, I mean, a lot of people like that, like different sounds. That's why people love the Tabernacle Choir. They like the cavernous sound.
Exactly.
We don't have that in here. What we have is just the dulcet tones of the lunch break crew.
It sounds like we're squirming in your ear, much like Sarah's squirm on SNL.
And don't we hope that we see these new cast members back for more next year?
I sure do. But before we get to that, our patented SNL talk that we do every week, even when the show's not on anymore.
Go to youtube.com and you look up Landon and Joey lunch break, and you're sure to come across this video.
I'm sure, yeah, it'll be up there.
But I'd like to bring this up before we move on.
Okay.
This hand sanitizer you just made me use, I want to tell you what the uses are on the back here.
Okay.
Uses. This is all under uses. Okay?
Okay.
Remember that.
Sure.
Not a warning. Uses. For hand sanitizing to decrease back... Oh. Excuse me.
Okay, come on.
Okay.
Okay, cut.
No. We may be big shots on that. We may be big shots now with the video, but we don't even cut on the video.
No, we don't.
And people are probably like, I wish you would.
I wish you would. You know what's great about the video? Real quick, is that now we literally, because we only have the one angle for now, and if you go to patreon.com/ not good, not bad. I'm kidding. I don't know. We don't. But if you go and you give us some money, we may get another camera. Now, we're not.
No.
And please don't give us any money.
So uses for hand sanitizing to decrease bacteria on the skin, recommended for repeated use. Do not push fingers through opening. Uses. Uses. Number 3. Do not push fingers through opening.
You know what it is though? It is hard. I should have read that because I've definitely tried to.
It's got the little top where you can pull the things out, but if you go in there, it's like I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this. It's like a finger trap.
Yeah, it also kind of looks like a bunghole.
Ooh.
Thank you for my dinner.
But the point is, we only have the one angle, so we're going to cut even less. If ever you've heard a cut on this show, which you haven't, because we don't cut anything.
If ever you've heard a cut on the show, you haven't.
Now you'll know for sure that we don't cut anything.
Just keep watching. Even if your boss says, what are you doing? Your lunch break was over 30 minutes ago. And you're like, well, they haven't gotten to their food yet.
Yeah.
He says, they? Nice. Put that back there. Landon's setting up shop. All right, we're going to get into it.
Should we get into lunch?
Sure. Well, we always have to talk about what we're snacking on, even though everyone hates it.
Yeah.
Or they say,
this
could take it or leave it.
This is kind of a special. So, of course, this is the first episode of the new year. So we're not going to be looking back. We're looking forward. That's why we have the new setup. We've got the new video element that we'll definitely keep around.
I would also just put out there that none of the talk on this episode going forward, I promise you, is going to be about looking backward. There's going to be no talk about the past in this episode.
Right.
It's not going to come up.
No, of course not.
I just want that to be clear so people think, well, like, I want to be clear so you know that we know and we're aware of it. There's not going to be any nostalgia talk. There's not going to be any what ifs, whens, or buts.
No. That might be, but
what are we eating?
We're gonna eat one of these old Christmas.
Yes, Truffledores.
Went to the store and got an old what you'd like to have a holiday sort of. What do they call these? An assortment of chocolates.
A chocolate assortment.
Yes.
Assorted chocolates.
But this is a special one in that it is Jacobson since 1918, and this has no English on the package at all. They are Mork Chocolade Med. They are milk chocolate. They are mork chocolate. They're 70% mork chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Havid chocolate, mork chocolate, milk chocolate. So we're gonna crack into the Jacobson, and I just figured, you know what?
Mork and Mindy.
We're gonna go through these. We're gonna stretch out the lunch segment the whole episode.
Can you show maybe this will be a good thing for the camera, but one of the chocolates on the front, I'm guessing this one, just by the look of it, is probably a mork chocolate.
Well, take a look. You may be surprised.
I was right. 70% mork chocolate to be. So they come in a little cone.
Yeah.
A little silver cone. Well, there's also the milk of chocolate crema house.
Yes.
Well, that's interesting. What's the crema house?
Well, we'll find out.
Crema house, crema house, crema house. Okay, pop these open for us. And it's basically, this is what Forrest Gump warned us of. This is the... People say it as a cliche now. This is the exact thing. A box of chocolates in which you never know what you're going to get. He might have been talking about Jacobson's. He's like, I never had a chocolate box that had no English on it. I never left no English-speaking country, except for when I went to World War I and I saved the Germans from getting persecuted wrongfully.
What is that movie about? That's it, isn't it?
I don't know if I've ever seen it.
Look at
Wow. You don't get this in America.
this. Jacobson does it right.
Wow. There's two of each? Did you know that?
Of course. Well, I didn't know for sure, but I figured
except
they'd be.
this one. There's Morca Chocolate and Malka Chocolate. The cones, you don't get two of each.
Oh, yeah.
They said that's real gold foil. We're not.
Shoot.
Crap.
So, so we're gonna have to kind of guess because, like I said, no English on the box. So you just got to go. Oh, I guess there is.
Stop looking at
Oh,
it.
I'm sorry. So I don't know. I just kind of figured we'd.
That one looks good though. Now that I'm reading the English.
Yeah.
On the outside of the packaging, why did they surprise us on the inside with English?
Yeah, that's wrong. You may get deducted at that point.
Yeah, if you're gonna surprise us on the inside with the English.
What is this, a Wonder Ball? What is this, a Trojan horse? What is this, a Trojan XL?
Ribbed.
Okay.
Do one more.
What is this, a...
Please no Slytherin, please no Slytherin, please no Slytherin.
And we're definitely not going to be talking about anything looking back.
No, there will be no discussion of the past. It's only about what comes next.
Straight ahead. Yes.
I got blinders on. You ever seen a horse eat a carrot?
Yeah.
I haven't, because I'm only looking forward.
That's right.
That was a trick, and you failed.
I'm sorry. So let's crack into these 2021 chocolates.
By the way, are you
The weakest link goodbye?
did you go to Hogwarts? Because I'm trying to Slytherin.
Do you go to... What do you think she was thinking when she was like, the school is called Hogwarts? We should have known back then.
I think she was like, that she's was going to be a turf.
And we'll get to it. Not on this episode.
Well, not about anything from the past.
No.
What's going on? Do we start with a simple chocolat?
I think we got to just start at number one, don't you?
That's number one, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
These are delectable to look at even. Just looking at them.
It's like when you go to the chocolate shop and they've got the ones that are spray painted. And the chocolatier has put so much time into the chocolate.
You pop it in your mouth and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
what is this, spray paint?
I put the spray paint on top of the chocolate to make it look pretty. You're not supposed to eat the chocolate.
What do you mean? It's chocolate. I've seen
It's chocolate.
I've seen them make like a whole car out of cake. You can eat that. Why would you? Yeah. You never saw those?
Zoom.
Yeah, it's like oh, is that a baby's head? And then they bring a knife into frame, and then they chop down on the baby's head, and you're like,
Am I on the wrong side of the internet?
and then they cut into it, and then it explodes into a cake.
Still sounds like, oh, okay.
And it's a cake on the inside, and you're like, oh,
It explodes into a cake.
that looked so real, man. Get your first Mork chocolate. I was thinking, what would be funny to do on the show? And then I looked at the back and it said Mork Chocolate. And I said, there's nothing funnier than saying that for an hour and 15 minutes.
I'm sure at this point, Tiger Woods would agree to exploding into a cake at this point. I mean, they got the guy on lockdown. He's not allowed out of his house. Great.
Look how thick they are is what I was trying to point out.
Oh,
Hard. Wait.
it's filled.
Whoa.
Okay.
A mint filling.
There's a mint filling. I don't know if that's the best one to start with.
No. Wow. What do you think of a chocolate mint? Especially a Mork chocolate.
Well, this one's so we should have known because this is Mork chocolate mint filled.
Okay, this isn't even a real other language.
I think, yeah, I was gonna say.
They just spelt it mint filled FYLD. Like a child wrote this. They're like, how do you spell mint filled?
I'm guessing it's where you ever got it from. 'Cause
I got it from Jacobson.
.com?
Yeah. Okay.
It's just spelled out.
So what do you give that? That's a nice dark.
I like a dark chocolate with mint. It's a good flavor combo.
Yeah.
So
Me too.
I got to give that I'll just say a 0.8 out of 1.
Yeah, it was surprising that it was filled.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping for it to not be filled, maybe have a ganache on the inside.
Ooh, that would be filled.
Okay, what's next on the platter?
Well, next up is the milk chocolate med. Caramel filled.
When people say English is so hard, I think I know where we got it from.
Yeah.
I could figure it out.
Sure. Sounds like
I could go to Jacobson's country. I'd do fine.
yeah, where are they from? Denmark. That's why this chocolate tastes so good. It's a Denmarkian.
This is
Whoa, wow. Oh, no. For the viewers at home that aren't watching,
I'm out of frame.
Joey laid down. He's out of frame. God, there's a lot of chocolate here.
I may have to go. I may have to resort to eating half a piece.
Yeah. I might have to go mork myself.
Oh, never again. Hey, this is a good caramel.
I like this caramel.
This might be better than the mint one.
Yeah. Normally, I get a little suspicious of a caramel filled. This did not disappoint. I give this a 0.8.
Denmark knows their caramels. I've always said that.
I've always said this about the Denmark people, and it's me, Don Jr., running for president in 2024, never looking back into the past. As promised, I don't break promises. I don't do it.
He doesn't do it.
I don't do it.
Oh, you know what's going to be bad about the video?
What?
They're going to know that just one of us does the voice.
A lot of people have been suspecting that only one of us does all the voices on the show. It's absolutely true. Only one of us does the voices. It's true. It's completely true.
I can't hear what I'm doing in this shed. So if you're listening out there and you're like, that voice isn't up to par with what they're usually doing, it's about the acoustics of what I'm hearing. Not necessarily what you're hearing, But mainly what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Looking towards the future, there's...
What was it? Why was I doing that?
I don't know.
All right, what's the next one?
Looks like the next one is the Mork Chocolade Med Marzipan Ogheld Mandel.
So there's marzipan. But what is Mondel? Almond? I think this is pig Latin.
Well, look, they may give it away if you take one glance at the Mork Chocolate.
Let me pick it up by its small motto. Okay. Oh, God.
Oh, no. Look,
I'm going to...
I was just going to warn you that my Amdel fell off.
It's just an Amdel.
It's just an Amdel. And it's a raw one, too. Unsalted and all.
Yeah.
Marzipan. Wherefore out there, marzipan? Because it's not a flavor that you find in a lot of American treats, is it?
A lot of Denmarkian, German, but not in America. And I don't know why. The texture I'm getting from this, exquisite.
I like the taste.
I love almond taste.
Yes.
It's kind of that amaretto.
Yes. Sweet. It's so sweet, but it's a tasteful sweet, isn't it?
Is it? What a good episode for us to put on camera for everyone.
You wanted to see the chocolates. They wanted to see what the Mork chocolate would look like while we ate it.
What's up, guys? This is lunch break, and we are trying out all the Mork chocolates. We could do that.
Yeah.
That's like that good mythical morning BS I always keep seeing you do.
Oh, yeah.
We do one episode a day. Wouldn't that be funny if we did that? Can you imagine if we did that? That would be so dumb.
Yeah.
Hey, don't give him any ideas.
Hey, get back here with my show. Ooh, hi, I'm Paul.
Hey, speaking of Paul, did you see that I'm friends with a certain Paul now?
You are, yes.
And more so my wife.
Because he and you had a nice conversation.
Well, we were talking and he convinced me to do something. I said, okay.
I wondered about that when my betrothed shouted from the other room, "Hey, did you see this?" And I saw that no other than Paul was talking to Landon online through his wife.
Through my wife, who does live at home with me.
We've touched on that before, I
Sure,
think.
yes. She's the one that lives in the house.
The one that lives in the house, that lives in this house, that lives in the house, that sleep in the bed, that live in the house, that eat in the counter, that listen to the kitchen, that go to the house, that go to the job, that go to the work, that eat at the pizza, that eat at the sea, that get to the house.
Whoa! Whoa! What do you think of that there, Paul?
Whoa! Hey! Ding, 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 ding. Hey! Hey, Dave.
What's that there, Paul?
Why ever go to the zoo?
The zoo. Yeah, sure, Paul.
We should
Paul,
go sometime.
Sure. I'll go to the zoo with you. You're something of a mammal.
That make me crazy.
No, but in all truth, I did hear a recommendation of one comedian, Paul Scheer, on a podcast where he said to get a certain cookbook. I got the cookbook based on his recommendation, and my wife posted about it on Soch. Paul responded. We all cheered, and I saw that Joey and his betrothed both liked that Paul did comment on it. And I said, I finally got one on Joey.
That's the one time, everyone out there.
After going to any concert or live event with Joey, and Joey constantly always says after the show, he goes, "They were looking right at me the whole time."
And it's not always me. Sometimes we're talking to the artist, and they say, "I saw you out there."
No.
And Landon looks at me and goes, "Mother stunker."
Well, yeah. So a guy on stage who's being just berated by loving and adoring fans is going to say, "Oh, you were here?" No, he's going to say, "Oh, yeah, I saw you. That was cool when you were bopping your head along to the music." Of course he's going to say, it's like when they come out and they say, "Oh, you're one of the most beautiful crowds I've ever seen."
It's not like I'm asking for it. All I'm saying is,
yes, you are. Look at
"Hey,
how
man,
you're
that
dressed.
was a great show. Did you see me out there?"
Yes, you are. Look at how you're dressed.
I've got a pretty pink tutu on and a football head. Move it.
He goes up to the guy and he's like, "Hey, just love what you guys do. Just wanted to say hey." And the guy's like, "I saw you out there at the front row. You're one of the best. You're one of the best. What a beautiful crowd. I saw you there. And it is me, of course, Donald Trump Jr. Jr.
And Derek. Oh.
And Derek." Okay, what do you say we slap it to a Slim Jim?
Go.
This is a Havid Chocolade Med Marzipan Og Appelsin filled. Appelsin filled. Okay, this is going to be interesting because
Yeah.
what do you think when I say Appelsin filled?
Well, I think of apple. But now that you point at the one that I've read, I know that to not be true. What the hell?
Wasn't expecting it to be a jelly. It's almost a jelly on there, isn't it?
An orange jelly on a marzipan bed.
Well, actually, the bed is more Havel chocolate. Don't mind the ghost poppers. Ghost poppers. Okay, this is interesting.
I love this one.
Do you?
I'm having a hell of a time with Jacobson's.
It's good, but I like the orange with a darker chocolate flavor, not with a.
Well, make no mistake, I also like the marzipan with the dark chocolate just on its own. I don't need the white chocolate with the orange jelly.
Right.
Just give me a bed of marzipan, if you will.
Okay, fine.
sir.
Yes. Okay.
We've got the Sleep Number marzipan.
You can pick what in the middle of the night you can make your wife's bed harder so she wakes up and doesn't know why her back hurts.
And when she turns to look at you, you can make yours so soft that you sink into the bed and she thinks you're not there.
And then you can just kind of fling her out of the bed because it's also up and down one like at the hospital.
Where were you last night? I was in bed. The sleep number was just at a 2. So I was like sleeping in jelly, babe. Please,
Oh,
please.
yeah, right. I know you were.
No more green beans for you, sister.
Get back here with my show. Do you watch anything?
Yeah, so Landon, I watched something that you've been begging me to watch.
Yes.
Please, 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 you gotta do it for me because there's no time like today, and I'm not gonna have time to do it.
And I said, all right, I'll watch Landon's favorite movie.
Oh.
Die Hard 3,
With a vengeance.
with a vengeance. Pretty good. Kind of surprising, the beginning.
I don't remember the beginning.
I can't even tell you what happens because of how racist it is.
Oh. Yeah, they're dealing with a lot of stuff in that movie, aren't they?
Yeah, it's great. It's fun. Probably better than... Can it beat the original? I don't know.
I always liked it because all the riddles and stuff. Like they have to solve a bunch of riddles.
I like the riddles, and I like that they're not just in one location.
Yeah.
They're kind of taking New York by storm in a way that you don't see movies do anymore. They blow up a building in downtown Manhattan, like for real. These days, that would all be CG. I'm just not into that. I know our fine men and women in the computer-generated industry service. We salute thee, and we know that you make the cars turn into the monsters and the transmorphers.
Yes, and we know that you make the cars stick out their tongue to win the race.
But I just want to see a nice old-fashioned terrorist attack in New York City.
Would it be so hard?
Give me
just do that?
Something. Just what's the problem with that? And why not do it in a way
I
that
saw Joey cheering on the rooftops. I saw him cheering
Why not do it in a way that makes me immediately
when he saw Die Hard 3. That building blew up in New York City. A sad day for all of us. A sad, sad day. There Joey stood, no pants on. No pants. Standing on a rooftop in downtown Manhattan, cheering with the rest of them, the rest of the Joeys. They all said, "We love terrorist attacks in New York City." He says, "No! Don Jr., I can't allow you to do this anymore. It's me, Donald Trump." "Daddy!" "Yes, son, it's me. Joey does not like terrorist attacks in New York City." "Of course he doesn't. Nobody does. And I just have one more thing to say." "What's that?" "Daddy wasn't there to change my underwear. It seems he doesn't care."
This is something I wanted to say about Die Hard, just in general. From the first movie to this one.
Say it.
Bruce Willis is a hunk.
Whoa!
And here's the thing. He's just a guy.
He's in every
time you see these movies now.
Joey just found out what everyone's known since 1981 or whatever.
My point is,
He's just a guy.
Even-
That's what makes it great.
you have Rock Johnson on the Jungle Cruise.
I do, yeah.
Even in this, he's ungodly fit. The way these people's shirts fit are cartoons. Their shoulders are as broad as they are tall.
Sure.
And then their waist is as skinny as they are linear.
Yeah.
Their bodies just don't make any sense. It's like, I'm a cop. I've never seen a cop that looks like that. I've never seen some guy that's like, I work at a car shop. But then they're just ungodly fit.
But remember, Joey, that
Bruce Willis is just a guy that's in shape.
Sure. But remember that he is sort of the response to Arnold Schwarzenegger, Dolph Lundgren, other guy,
Landon always says
Rambo
everything's
man.
cyclical.
So you had Arnold Schwarzenegger being like, and they would always have to like kind of explain why he's a ripped guy.
"I want my son to have a toy for Christmas."
Yeah, but why do you look like a bodybuilder?
"I want to have my boy have a toy for Christmas."
Pop his head off.
But even in like what's that movie where he goes to Mars
yeah.
and there's the 3 boobs? What's that movie? I just had to watch it recently.
You had to?
yeah, actually.
This is not a test. The Purge is starting tonight. You must watch the movie on Mars with the woman that has 3 boobs.
You know the movie.
Fifth Element.
No.
That's Bruce. I gotta tell you, that's Bruce.
No, I'm talking about Arnold.
Yep, Ghost of Mars.
No.
Red Planet.
Guys, if you're out there listening, write in. Tell me what movie I'm trying to think
on
of.
Mars.
It was just Total
3.
Recall. Total Recall.
Yep, 3 boobs.
Never saw it, have you?
No.
Okay.
But I know that she shows up in the remake.
Does she or doesn't she? I can't remember. I remember there being a discussion about.
I heard the discussion.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if I'm right or wrong.
Of course you would.
But that's our show.
Well, in that they make him a guy that uses a jackhammer all day just to explain the fact that he's muscular. They always had to do that.
That's kind of how you got fit back then. You put a belt on that vibrated you.
Yeah, and you use a jackhammer. You're like, Jamie, give me the Turbo Man.
Bring him over here to me to see. What is your name?
Platt.
Chris Platt. You want to date my daughter?
That's the worst.
Would you like to date my daughter? But I have heard the signs that you are the worst Chris.
That's not true, sir.
I stand in solidarity with Chris.
I stand.
I guess I'm in.
So this was a fun movie.
Die Hard with a... Yes, John McClane. He's just a normal guy, isn't he?
Yeah, Sam Jackson's just a normal guy. But together they just do what has to be done. Yeah, they jump onto the boat.
Yeah.
Stuff blows up. This guy can't catch a break with his wife.
Are you going to go check out number 4 after this?
Yeah. But before I did that, I had to watch a little something called... Harry Potter turns 20 on the TV screen.
I did too.
And so I was a little confused because I said, didn't Friends just have a 20th anniversary and they're all 60?
Yeah. They're doing that, aren't they?
They are... How do I word this? They are making it so that we are remembering things sooner. That's even brought up in the thing by Mr. Ronald Wesley. He's like, yeah, it seems kind of soon to be doing a reunion because it's a reunion for the first movie coming out.
Right.
Meaning the last movie only came out 10 years ago.
Right.
So they're only 10 years removed from it. And I would say they aren't removed from it that much at all.
No.
They're still quite frequently...
Okay, now you've pissed them off.
Please don't Slytherin, please don't Slytherin.
You're a wizard, Harry.
And that just happened because of Joey did parcel tongue, and the snake got it down. If you're just listening like a fool, our Seinfeld done.
Our studio just was ruptured by a centrifugal force that brought down something central to our theme of the well, but it's a background that you can just you could just digitally add it.
Yeah, in we'll be sure to add that. Oh God.
Get a picture of this before you leave. So I still think they're quite frequently talking about it. And
it's all anyone wants to ask them about still, of course.
I mean, any interview you listen to, which I have now gone and done after having watched this.
Yeah.
But they all start with, I got to ask, and I know you're probably sick of talking about this. And Daniel's like, no, of course. No, I love talking about these things.
For a while there, I wasn't liking to talk about it, but now I like to talk about it all the time. I had a bit of a drinking problem. It's true. I went dancing, and people looked at me, and then I said, maybe I should dance some more. And then I started dancing a lot.
So you had a dancing problem?
This is what I said.
So, yes, they made the movies 20 years ago, and you go, oh, my God, I'm almost dead.
I'm old.
And it's just one of those things. So looking back.
Yeah, I mean, we don't.
No.
We can't look back.
I barely even remember what they're talking about.
By the way, we got to try this one.
All right, let's do it. This one looks like Harry Potter's head. So this one's good to do.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, what I was confused about this thing.
Oh, this is good.
That's a ganache. Or is it no, wait. Hazelnut.
It's a nougat filling with hazelnut.
Milk chocolate met nougat filled. Og hell hazelnut.
This is out of Harry Potter.
All hail hazelnut. All hail hazelnut.
The Dark Lord Hazelnut requests your presence at his puberty party.
This is my favorite so far. I give this a 1.
I bet you like Nutella.
Not really.
Okay.
I like the hazelnut in the middle of this bastard, though.
I don't like Nutella.
I like the nougat around the hazelnut. I like the crunch. I don't like Nutella.
Would you ever go to the
Goodbye.
Nutella? Yeah. Look at this. Brown thumb. That's saying.
Yeah, brown thumb.
Well, that was the thing. Then they got more into, I think we got to learn more about Brown Thumb.
Yeah. Well, what's her name? Helena Bonham Carter, or as my friend Mark once called her, Helena Gotham Carter. At least that's what he was quoted as in a review for a movie in the school newspaper out of nowhere.
And no one checked that.
No one checked it. And Mark, if you're listening, and I know you're not.
We know that you know her middle name is Bonham.
Bonham, yes. But wasn't it fun to see that Danny had a crush on Helena?
He read his little letter to her that said, "If I were even 10 years older,
I would
have hit
screw."
that."
And she's like,
And then apparently
she's crazy.
She kept her teeth, which made her teeth look better than they did in the movie. I think I was confused by that, but she's like, "I got my teeth from the movie," and he's like, "What? Really, you do?" She's like, "Yeah, I haven't washed them." And even he is very upset when she puts them in,
Yeah,
because they're dirty.
And then I was trying to tell, when does she take them out? Because I think at a certain point they turn back into her normal teeth,
Yeah.
but they're so similar that it was hard to tell.
Well, then because I was wondering if I was thinking she just kept them in.
I know, me
So
too.
I was like, I think she just kept them in for the rest of the time because she's like, "Oh, Danny, you're so sweet."
Yeah.
And he's like, okay.
Great to see them all.
So it's the 20th anniversary of the first movie, not the first book,
No,
nor the last movie,
no.
but they talk about all of it.
Yeah.
They go through each of the movies, kind of. And I would deign to say I've seen more Harry Potter special features than any other movie.
Wow.
I have one of those. Do you
Yes,
have any of the
that's
movies that
right.
have like the hour? There's like I have this. Oh yes, I have the big set, the big Harry Potter.
Yeah, tell them at home.
I got the big box.
You got the box. That's the Wizards.
The big Harry Potter's box chest. Then you open it and there's drawers and secret stuff. And each of the movies, along with their myriad special features, they each come with their own hour special feature, which is like a feature special feature on just a different aspect of the film.
Wow.
So it's like this one's about the characters, this one's about the special effects, this one's about the locations, and they're all just feature-length documentaries.
Wow.
So you get like 8 of those on top of everything else. And then so I'm like, what are they going to tell me that I haven't already known? Nothing much.
Yeah.
They just kind of tell you that they miss you.
I wish that we could be Harry Potter forever. And then they kind of look at the camera and like, do you wish that we could be Harry Potter again?
And at home we're like, yay!
And then HBO Max is like, and that's why we're making the HBO Max original series Harry Potter again.
We're getting all your favourite people to come in. Yes, that's right. We see that you're all horny for Tom Felton and Emma Watson.
We loved each other. I can't explain it. I can't explain it. She's like a little sister that I like to snog.
I like to snog and I love her.
But we never, ever did anything, okay?
It's weird.
Yeah.
She is sitting in a chair in front of 30 crew members. And they're like, we didn't ask you.
Yeah. We asked.
She's like, I love Tom. From the moment I saw him, every time I saw his name on the call sheet, I said, oh, there's Tom. I love him so much. I love Tom. Oh, Tommy Tom. But nothing ever happened romantically between us. Okay. And you can ask him the same. Okay.
And they're like, and cut.
They're like, hey, Tom, I guess we have to ask you.
And he's like, yeah, she's like my sister. Is that what she said?
Yeah, sure.
Stepsister.
What? As overall fun. It certainly did what it needed to do for me,
Yeah.
which is make me say, even though that stuff about the author, do I go back and reread these?
Did you notice her the little clips of J.K. Rowling?
Yes.
Had a big emblazoned filmed in 2019
Of
thing?
course.
They had to let us know we
like,
are on your side.
We didn't. It was simply a courtesy. We had to put some footage in.
At this point, we didn't know about it when we talked to her.
In 2019, we weren't quite sure. She hadn't said anything yet. So we can use that footage.
We can use that. We just have to. Look, she made the thing.
We have to say something. We have to say her name.
Obligatory edition. That's it. We just have to acknowledge that she exists.
And it was funny, the Luna Lovegood actor, I can't remember her real name, but she was like, I was a super fan, and I wrote to J.K. Rowling all the time, and she actually messaged me back or whatever, wrote me back and said something. And then she was like, so for a time I can say that I was, and then she kind of realized what she's saying, and it's not, now it's not cool. I was a pen pal with J.K. Rowling, and you just feel kind of bad because all these people have to answer for the sins of someone else.
And I saw a there was a video online as I started then going through the troves of archives of Harry Potter footage, and it was like a Emma Watson interview on Conan, and someone left a comment stating that she is, backstabbing the person that gave her a job.
Right.
Like, didn't you see that interview where she backstabbed the woman that gave her a job? No respect in this country, or whatever. And I was, shut up.
What do you want them to say?
Yeah, I guess Look, it's not right that she murdered all these people.
Right.
But at the same time, she did give me a job.
So
Shut up.
how about that one?
Landon, let's eat this one. The Sonic one. Saga. Crunchy. What do you think that is?
Crunchy.
I'm
I think
gonna
it's
read
rice. Or no, Little Nuts.
Okay, I'm gonna read this. Milk chocolate.
Oh.
He likes this. Mead marzipan, Hasselnut creme, Og Mandelsteiker. Do you get the Mandelsteiker?
No, what is it? The hell?
What are you mad about?
Almond flakes.
Mandelsteiker means almond flakes. This is where we start to go our separate ways.
Because earlier, El Mandel. Oh. Yeah, never mind. They're right.
Landon, did you just cry your little tiny eyes out
Watching the movie about the Harry Potter?
when they said, when Rupert Grint looks at Emma Watson in the face and says, I love you.
Yeah.
And starts crying, and she never says it back.
Yeah.
She's like, stop it. And he's like, I do, I love you. I love you, I do, I love you. She's like, Rupert, stop it.
She's like, oh, Tom, I love you too. I mean, Rupert.
Lee.
Why didn't they do that when Dan was in the room?
Yeah, why'd they have them go into a separate room? He's like, well, I'm out of here. It was great talking to you guys. I've got to go talk to Chris Columbus for 5 minutes.
Is it just because they had the romance on screen, I guess?
I guess. I was trying to figure out why they did certain... There was like one scene where Emma Watson hugs What's-His-Nuts, the guy that plays Hagrid.
Yeah.
She like walks up to him and you can tell that everyone's getting old.
Yeah.
And that's why they're probably making this now.
Yeah, they're like, we...
But then later when they're
Gooby
talking to
doesn't
him,
have much longer.
later when they're talking to Gooby, he's like, I won't be around for much longer. But he's like, by himself in a room.
Yeah.
It's like, well, wasn't he at the big party?
Yeah, that's weird too, because they make a big show of everyone met in the big ballroom at Hogwarts.
Everyone meets at Hogwarts, eating like matzo gov, and then they kind of break them up. Where like,
yeah, show me some more of them just talking in the great hall.
Because they must have been awkward to film.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys are supposed to be excited. I don't care if it was 10 years ago. I would have been like, I just did this.
Yeah.
Let me go be Equius. Let me go show my dangle on stage.
What's also funny is that I don't even remember the character that he played, but they had Tom Felton at Draco Malfoy meet with Neville and the one black character and acted like he was a huge part of... He had to feel weird. Like, I barely got any screen time. Why?
And
I know why you're doing this. I know why you're including me as if I was part of the crew.
And I can confirm after having watched that, I have now watched the first 6 movies again.
What? It came out yesterday.
It came out 3 days ago.
But that was our first thought, too, of like, we got to watch these.
Well, before I watched this, the day before I had watched the magical movie on HBO Max. They put up the new version of Sorcerer's Stone called Magical Movie Mode. And it's like, welcome to Magical Movie Mode of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. In this movie, we will... Basically, they have the director pops up in the corner. He's like, this scene's kind of funny because... and you can tell that they just kind of threw scenes at him and it's unedited. So he's like, this scene's kind of funny because Harry was... He's like small, so Hagrid is taller. So we made a bigger set for him and a smaller set for him.
Cool.
A lot of it is stuff that I don't think I was getting a lot of new information. But then there's also trivia throughout the whole thing, which you're supposed to be like watching the whole time. And it's like, what is Dumbledore's first name? And you're like, oh God, this is for children.
It's for peons. It's
and
for
then just randomly throughout the
know-nothings.
movie, words would just like be illuminated on screen where it would say like, you're a wizard, Harry, like out of the dust of the cabin that they're in.
Wow.
And then they would sprinkle in some deleted scenes. So
That is magic.
interesting way to watch it. But then I have gone on to watch the next 6. And then I started to look for my Harry Potter books. So I said, I got to read them again.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anything has quite captured me like those books did.
No.
I remember sitting up into the wee hours of the morning reading the last one until that final sentence, all was well, and getting chills down my spine as I was reading until 4 a.m. And now I try to read before bed and I immediately fall asleep. I have to reread every sentence 18 times because
I was scared to even pick the first one up because I'm like, what if in 2nd grade I was dumb? And
yeah.
I know the first ones are going to be kids' books.
Yeah.
But you got to, because even watching the movies again, which I haven't for about a year.
Sure.
You go, God, there's a lot of stuff that I want to get some more backstory on here. But is it, Landon?
Yeah.
Was it too soon to do I mean, on one hand, I see that they're 30. I see that I'm 30. I see what they've accomplished. And I turned the TV off and I sat in maybe the most desolate silence I've ever sat in.
Yeah, but look.
That's true. I guess this is the same. You kind of look like Hagrid.
You look like the snitch. Come on.
You've got your bludgers, you've got your seekers, you've got your seekers, you've got your bludgers.
This is a quaffle. Shut up.
He's a waffle. Hum, nom, nom. And he's like, magic's awesome.
You know what's funny?
Those movies.
Yeah. I love those movies. Hey, was the first 2... See, because people are always like, the first 2 are bad, but the rest get good.
No.
The first 2 are awesome, right?
The first 2 are the best ones.
You can't have the rest of the movies without Chris Columbus being
What
a
this man
freaking
did.
genius. Yes.
This man that made Home Alone, this man that gave you all Gremlins, he's a weird guy.
He's a weird guy, but he's great at directing kids.
That's the problem. If you didn't have
And
a
that's
guy that was
weird.
he wasn't direct at acting kids.
He wasn't. Yeah.
And you watching some of the behind the scenes footage of him just like trying to wrangle the kids. He's like, all right, point at the castle. They're in a pool pointing at a green screen 20 years ago.
And they're joking around. He's like,
yeah.
Okay, get off of that big rock.
And Daniel,
don't jump on the cars. Get down from there.
There's the one where Daniel Radcliffe's like, the contacts are hurting my eyes, so I got these sunglasses, so I'm going to wear the sunglasses until we start shooting, and then I'll take them off. He's like, oh, yeah, good. It's just like a guy with his kids. It's in over his head.
Yeah.
You wonder why he quit after 2 of them. He's like, I got to get some shut-eye.
Well, that is what we were wondering after that, because I don't actually know. Did he quit? Because that's what it seemed like.
He left because, from what I've heard in the past, is that he is living in sin. He's been living in
because he made those wizard movies that are sinful to read
the
and to
church
watch.
was like saying, these aren't. You shouldn't be doing this, and he was like, I've changed my ways for the better. Something wicked this way comes. He's like, no.
And they were like, hey man, you're Chris Columbus.
And he said, hey man, I'm Chris Columbus. Something wicked this way comes. No, it's because he was living in Europe for 3 years without his family.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
And he was just like, I want to go see my kids.
It would be interesting to see what his take on all of the rest of them would be.
I think he was around for the third one. I think he did some sort of consulting or producing.
That could be.
To help out, because he kept saying the third picture. He kept calling them pictures.
Yeah,
which is just
he's
funny.
Old school, man. Yeah,
and I'm like, God, I want to make a movie.
Sure.
He's like, these are the best pictures I ever made. And Daniel's like, well, thank you.
I've got to be off.
Well, he also says something about when he first sees Daniel. Is anyone listening to this? You people like Harry Potter, just shut up and listen to this.
And also watch the thing.
We'll eat another candy for you.
Here, this one.
Is it?
Oh, did we miss?
Wait a minute.
Oh, we skipped. Here, we got to do this. This is going to be an extra long episode, I hope you know.
Because now it's a Harry Potter review episode.
Mork Chocolade Med Inga Farsmag Og Caramel Filled.
Landon.
Yes.
This one is wrapped in foil, kind of like a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Yeah.
With the crumped edges.
Uh-huh. Oh, it's hard.
This is the perfect, because a Reese's, it always pulls off the sides.
Yeah. Jacobson has the right idea with the foil. It's beautiful. You're going to like this one. I'm calling it now.
Wow. It's like layered. Like an orger.
Hey, by the way, is there anything better than a Shrek movie? Is there such thing as a bad Shrek movie?
It's a good question.
Do you know what this is? Do you taste the special flavors that are in here?
Un special flavors.
It's Mork Chocolate, so you know that's dark chocolate. With Ingwerfarsmag, which is ginger.
Wow.
And Og Caramel Filled, which means toffee filling.
I would not have pinned down the ginger because I don't think I would have even assumed.
Yeah.
That's not even in the lexicon of a chocolate box.
Yeah, ginger's a... But that's Jacobson for you. They're gonna throw a little trick in your treat.
Who makes the... Was it Whitman's or Waltman's?
Yeah.
Who's kind of the...
That guy that lived in a cabin? Mm-hmm. Walt Whitman?
I looked at the snow. I realized the branches of the tree down by the lake were beauty, and in beauty I saw God, yes, Queen. Signed, Walter Whiteman.
Now I have a religion. It is to be in the cabin.
I'm the one who knocks.
I'll never watch it. Do you like this? I like this. It's an interesting flavor.
Yeah.
Great
one. It goes well with my tea I've got here.
Oh, what do you got? What are you slurping on there, pal?
Chamomile.
I like the part where where Dan Radcliffe is like, by the fourth film, they had people that were hired just because they were hot, and we're all horny little teenagers.
Yeah, they're finally telling the stuff that I want to know.
Yeah.
It's like when Kenan Thompson came to talk, and he's like, "You guys want to hear about heavyweights?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "It's just a bunch of fat kids doing drugs in the woods," and everyone at our school loved that.
They were like,
and I just
yes!
I said, "Kenan, you were my hero,
Not my Kenan.
not my Kenan." But he's like, "They hired all these hot, sexy women, and me and Rupert are freaking hauling our eyes out,
Yeah.
running around with our long, long hair."
And then there's
He's like, "Yeah, it's pretty crazy."
yeah, he doesn't want to say anything because he knows he's seconds away from being canceled.
Right. Something happened to him. You can see it in his eyes.
Yeah. Well, I think also he's married.
He's married and has a kid.
He's like, I really don't have time for this.
I could be doing really literally anything with my family right now.
And of course Emma Watson is like, I wanted to quit Harry Potter and
then-
no one ever asked me about it. And they're like,
And
but
Dan's
we
like-
are a family.
Yeah. Dan he's like, "Yeah, we never talked about that, did we?" And then she's like, "No, but I decided to keep going." And instead of saying, "Oh, why was that?" he's just like, "Yeah, I think we all had moments where we thought, yeah, this is pretty crazy." And she's like, "Yeah, pretty crazy." And they show just like her surrounded by 10,000 people screaming at
Yeah.
her, and she's sad.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Pretty crazy."
It is strange because, of course, they were pointing to the fact that she is a woman or a young girl being, but they don't
Sexualized.
yes, being spectralized. But then they're also like showing the part of the movie where they do the spectralizing, which she seemed to like. Well, that she, I don't know, she
Isolate that.
I just mean, it's an integral part of the character.
kissing?
Becoming, no, not the kissing.
Oh, just the
When she walks
blossoming.
down to Gustav Goop or whatever at the ball in
Yep.
Goblet of Fire.
I love that movie. Gustav Goop and the Goblet of Fire.
And they're like, that can't be Hermione. Hermione's a dirty old skunkweed.
Yeah.
That girl's a girl.
And she's like, "I'm not a skunkweed, Rupert Grint." He's like, "It's Juan. The name's Juan."
And she's trying to get the point across that
Ed Sheeran's trying to get the point across.
Ed Sheeran's trying to say, don't we my love, don't be team, but doing it. So she's trying to get the point across that what? That the whole world is sexualizing her. And these guys are just having fans.
Yeah, you know
because
why? They don't have that problem.
They don't necessarily have that problem. Not to say that there's not people that were sexualizing them as well.
Right.
Because, of course, we've all seen the internet. We've all heard the Welcome to the Internet by Bo Burnham, where they make the Harry Potter sketches that are of them having them screw each other. So we all know that that exists. It's just her point was very specific because she was alone, being that she was just a single girl in a movie full of boys.
And they kind of say that once very quickly,
Yeah.
where she's alone, but we kind of had each other.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it.
And then you find out that she basically hasn't talked to Rupert Grint at all in the last
weird.
10 years. And they're like, we're going to try better to talk to each other. And you just know, not happening. And that's fine.
Hey,
You don't have to say all that.
you don't have to do that for like, yeah, we will do that for the fans, because you know why? In the moment, you're probably like, oh yeah.
Well, yeah.
But then once you leave and you cool off, you
Yeah.
take a cold shower.
Yeah.
You've got your own lives.
Yeah, it's hard. Like, we all know that it's just weird that because people are so attached to, they show those clips of like just people crying when they see the people, when they see these kids. It's like, they're just people. I don't know, man. It seems wild. I mean, I'm a fan of a lot of different things, but I don't think I would cry if I saw one of them in real life. Would you?
I would love to work with them, all three of them, on the same movie, Harry Potter 9.
Well-
I just think it is weird because also their feelings towards it have to be different than ours. Bottoms up.
Oh, look, a design on the
There's
bottom.
a design on the bottom. These are upside down. Now, Landon,
Yes.
Milk chocolate mead vanilla filled. Og creme brulee smack.
Smag? Smag. It's pronounced smog.
Little hobbit.
Okay, this is pretty good. And I am eating the full of all of these.
Take note of this.
Joey's leaving a little trail.
Not of this one.
This one's good. Well, this brings me to my point, because there's talk that there's going to be a series, Harry Potter series, right?
Yeah.
Is that a remake? Or are they doing like a different story just at Hogwarts?
I don't know, because, yes, after I watched this, I said, I have to get my fill me up, Rupert Grint. I watched an interview with him from pretty recently about, have you watched Servant, the M. Night Shyamalan show?
I watched the first season.
How was it?
Pretty good. I liked it.
Is he good in it?
Yeah.
Because I do want to watch it now. I kind of forgot that it was
I forgot
out there.
that he's in it. But yeah, he's good.
I forgot that there's now going to be a third season.
Yeah. I need to watch season 2.
But it was about that, and
I need to watch season 2.
They were giving him...
Yeah, I should do that. I should watch season 2.
They were giving him questions or like bringing up stuff from his past where it's like Rupert Grint watches Harry Potter scenes. Like that's what he wants to do.
Right.
That's like making me watch ARG. Everyone out there knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do? Watch it go, yeah. He does say, he said, I've seen the first one maybe twice, and I haven't really seen the other movies. Like, their experience with these movies is...
It's quite different.
I'm kind of... You think, oh, that would be cool to be in it. But I liked experiencing it the way it was. Because they're all just on green screens. The entire movie.
Exactly.
You're in a castle, but it's just you're doing little bits of it, and then they never see the thing, probably.
And Ron gets kissed hard by Hermione. Mm-hmm. And in the theater, you're squeeing. But in real life, you're devastated that you have to make out with your best friend.
Your sister.
Your sister.
Almost.
Almost. So that's interesting. That's how the movie business is, baby.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to kiss your sister. But he said...
Thank you.
They brought up the fact that he, in the past, had said that he would play Ron again.
Wow.
And he was like, yeah. He's like, I would. But he was like, I'm very protective of the character.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know how that would come about or why or what the story would be, but I'm definitely open to doing it.
Did you ever read The Cursed Child?
I started it. I bought it opening day.
Yeah, same.
Did you get it from Barnes & Noble?
Yeah.
There must have been something going on there.
I think so.
And maybe it was just part of that.
I think they sell books.
I get a what?
I think they sell books.
At Barnes & Noble?
That's what was going on there.
At Barnes & Noble.
I think that's...
are you thinking of like...
Oh, no, I'm thinking of Brabs and Gerbil.
Sometimes they have that little end cap at Gap. Maybe that's what you're talking about. But they did have this book. And I went and I said, maybe it'll be like when I used to go get the books when they came out. Mm-mm. No. So I got that. I read the first couple chapters.
Yeah. I mean...
And I said, this isn't what I thought it was going to be.
Well, it's weird because it is old. It is the older characters, or those characters as olds, and their kids as them, basically.
Right.
And it is Voldemort is back.
Did you read the whole thing?
Yes.
How was it?
I remember being like, oh, that was kind of fun. In like a fan fiction-y kind of way, knowing that it's supposed to kind of be official, but also not.
Voldemort's back?
There was some connection. It's like...
I read some stuff, and it's not that I was just like, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. I hate this, because a lot of people did do that.
Sure.
And had a lot of bad reviews. But at the time, I was just like, oh, this isn't what I wanted to read. So
yeah,
I set it aside, and I have not touched it since.
But I think you can, because I saw this comment being made, they could never make more with these people because what threat could there possibly be without Voldemort?
Right.
But I think that's silly.
Well, it is. I mean, I do wonder because at the end of the last book and the movie, we meet them and they're, I guess, 40 and they have liver spots all over their bodies.
Right.
But so I'm like, that's it. they were 17 and they defeated Voldemort, and now they all have office jobs. Like they just kind of like nothing ever happened between the three of them.
What, like a sex thing?
Menage. What do we say? Menage Cornus Pixie. I don't know. She makes up these words. I can't do it the way she does it.
The way she does it, and
flawlessly. And we
we
not
don't like
respect
it.
her. But she did come up with the Cornish Pixies.
What more do you want out of them?
Probably nothing.
Yeah, I
anything
think
they
you
do
just
would
end
just
it.
be a disappointment.
I think if they're gonna do a show, because that's the thing, right? They're doing a series. I say don't remake because, for one, like you said, the last one came out 10 years ago.
Yeah,
we don't need that. You do a different threat and kids that, and it may even be. You don't even specify if it's a sequel or if it's in the same, time frame. But you have a threat that there is a. You can have dark
there are dirty
wizards.
wizards everywhere.
There are dirty wizards everywhere. You can have them. They can even be like a remnant, like one of these terrorist cells that are you kill the big cell, and then there's little cells that still try to uphold the values of the terrorists or whatever. Right. And in comics and movies and stuff, they always do this. That's fine. Do that.
Do not bring Voldemort back. I do not want to see Rise of Skywalker ever again.
I do.
I mean, I do, just not in another movie.
Sure.
But you can't also do the Fantastic Beasts things where they just reference.
Well, that's
the other
thing.
They're just referencing things that happen, and it's like, it's not the same to me. Because you're writing it after the fact instead of giving me the genuine story, the seven.
Yes.
Then you tell me if it's popular. After all this, I mean, I know she had a lot writing.
Yeah.
On the last couple books.
Sure.
After it became popular, but now you're just, how do we make this so that we can put buzzwords in here?
But we were talking about this as we were watching it. Is there any other franchise that is that solid the whole time?
No.
Like none of even the movies, there are some on the stinkier side, but they're not bad. Like they're all pretty good.
The closest you can make a reference to, which doesn't really work, is Lord of the Rings, because there's 3 movies.
Right.
But the books came out 100 years ago.
Right.
They filmed them all at the same time. It's not the same thing where it was like this is going to come out over 10 years.
Yeah.
With all the same people.
Yeah.
Save for one Dumbledore.
And
Don't replace me.
And Crab or Goyle.
Yeah, that came up when we were watching them. My girlfriend was like, different. Is he supposed to be the same person? I was like, they maybe should just not have it be the same. Because I don't care. Those guys are never important to the story other than when they eat the cupcake cake.
Yes.
I'm Quab. I'm Goyle.
What is funny in the making in the 20-year thing is when Chris Columbus tells Dan Radcliffe that he's like, oh, you've grown up or whatever, and he goes, oh well, I mean, it's polite of you to say that, and he kind of motions towards himself, and I looked it up. He's 5'5".
He's a little guy.
He's a little guy. So he knows that though. He kind of has fun with himself.
Well,
now, interesting thing about this Jacobson that we're eating now. It's not the same shape as it is on the picture. The milk chocolate mit marzipan og kokosnad flager is long in the picture.
In the picture, it's a long.
And then this is stout. And they gave us 3 of them instead of the usual 2.
That's right. Which is weird. I wonder if this is their kind of signature thing, or they're just like, well, we have another spot. Which one's the cheapest to make?
This one with the kokosnad.
Yeah. It's good!
Kokosnad, everyone out there. Coconut.
I like it.
Yeah.
With marzipan.
Whew. A lot of chocolate.
Well, we got one more. We're going so long at this point. And I'm not cutting anything because you're watching the whole thing unfold in front of you.
Did you answer my question?
What?
Is it too soon for them to be dragging these people out of retirement?
No, I don't think so. Because I think the main reason is that they are trying to make you... Number one,
It's a hype machine.
They want to see if people still care. Because they have
Here's
this
what
property.
You could do. Think about it for 2 seconds.
Well, I think they are thinking about how J.K. Rowling continues to stick her foot so far down her throat. And at
Even
this point,
after everyone says, please, please, please,
they're
stop.
like, we don't love you anymore. That's never going to change.
And she's like, why? Because I'm a woomood? A wombat? A weemob? Wasn't there a word for me?
And,
like, no, be quiet.
and now she's just, I think in the vein of Chappelle, she's just doing it to do it now. Like, even a couple days ago, she had a big thread of, like, whatever. She's just doing it because now she's...
Do what? What am I doing? I'm just trying to go to the bathroom.
I'm just trying to tell the truth.
You're following me in here in high heels to kiss me?
So they know that she's not going to stop, but they also know that because she has the rights to Harry Potter. It's not like they have purchased the license. She has to sign off on every...
We here on HBO have purchased all the rights to the Harry Potter films and the Grooble Goop and the Goblet of Fire film. We will not be taking any precautions going into the Harry Potter show.
There's so many things that you could show us in this world. Isn't the Lord of the Rings show not... They're kind of going to do something else? Where they're like, Middle Earth is more than just this little Frodo.
Well, I think that... I was going to say this, too. I think the best...
Oh, I'm going to tell you something.
As much as I do kind of fault the Mando in the Star Wars universe, sometimes Mandalorian veers a little too far into let's connect everything. In the other side of my brain says they're doing it perfectly, where they give us what we want as fans, but it also is an integral part of the story that they're telling. And it shows most of the time we're just seeing new parts of the world. I think you can do all of that. I think you can make a Harry Potter where
I don't mind
Rupert, Hermione, or David are in the movie, are in the show at some point. They show up to help because you live in a world where the boy who lived did kill Voldemort with his two best friends. And
I think David would come in and do it justice.
I think he would.
Because they're not too... Here's the thing. They're only 30.
Yes, you can bring him in. And
they look the same.
They seem up for it.
When you watch it, they make me feel like they are the friends where I'm supposed to be like, wow, like our lives were so crazy back then.
It does look funny to see the footage of the first movie, though, when they are little tiny babies.
Hello, I'm Harry Potter.
So they're trying to see if there's if the internet world
the internet's going to go absolutely
ham over this.
Well, I mean, I think because as everyone tries to remind everyone else, Twitter is kind of not what real people look at.
Yeah.
So most people probably don't know that they should be mad at J.K. Rowling.
Right, because that's the only place she's putting this insane stuff.
Right. So
most people aren't looking at it.
I think Warner Brothers is like, okay, let's see how much impact she is having on our brand.
Which she can't. This is the thing with artists, right? That make a song,
right?
And you grow up listening to it, and you find out the reason this person owned a giraffe was maybe so that they could get some kids to come to the zoo.
You've been hit by turn, you've been struck by turn. Jeffrey Giraffe.
I was gonna say
J.K. Rowling. Did she walk to the window with a thing that turns the lights off? And then she walks to the guy that is dressed up like a couch. And it cut off the head of the Gryffindor, but it was a pumpkin. And it...
Harry, are you okay? Harry, are you okay? Are you okay, Harry? You've been hit by dum-dum. You've been struck by dum. Avada-kedavra.
Avada, what is it?
Oh yeah, that.
Abacadabra.
Abracadabra.
But it's avacadabra.
Avada Kedavra.
Look, here's the thing. They have this Harry Potter game coming out soon, which looks very cool.
Yeah.
I'll check it out. Except that I don't want to support J.K. Rowling.
That's the thing. Everything you buy
goes straight to her loins.
But what is she doing necessarily other than just being
She's
wrong?
speaking. She's not, I don't think she's necessarily doing anything.
Is she pulling a Chick-fil-A and giving money to like the people that make bathroom signs?
I don't think so, but I also don't know.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah. But I think they want to say, okay, let's garner a little momentum here for the Harry Potter name. The game, everyone will want to play that game now because everyone's like, I love Harry Potter again. It's so good to see him. They're going to probably... I was listening to something where they were like in Australia or something, all the Harry Potter movies are on Netflix, and they're all in the top 10 right now after that.
They have that national song where like, Neville had a glow up, Neville had a glow up.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it's just me, Neville. And everyone's like,
I became the hero at the end of the movie.
remember that? And they finally let me get braces. For 10 years of my life, I said, can I get braces? And they said, you got to keep your mangled maw until the end of the movie. And I said, mangled maw? I got to get home. Something's wrong.
You did check out a lot of supplementary material, didn't you? I'm
filled with the knowledge of Harry Potter. I've watched so much extra stuff at this point.
You are a...
Some weeks I come in here and I say, I haven't watched anything.
Yeah.
This week I've watched 6 Harry Potter movies, a retrospective, a documentary on it.
Yeah.
I've listened to a podcast with Rupert. I've listened to a podcast with Daniel.
What?
I've
What?
listened to...
What?
I've watched this Emma Watson interview where all the credits are like, Conan is a flawless interviewer. She starts the interview literally on the edge of her seat. By the end, she is comfortably laid back in her chair. A class act. This is a master class in interviewing. Look at the way he flawlessly makes fun of himself to make her feel so comfortable in her
Why
own
did the
skin.
credits say that?
It was weird because they keep scrolling up, and they were going really fast too.
I
so
know Conan's kind of full of himself, but that seems a bridge too far.
And he's like,
Oh, let's watch the credits together.
he's doing a voice.
Yeah.
Do you want
I love Conan.
Merc chocolate, or do you want milk chocolate?
You can have the mork.
You can have the mork if you want. This is your snack.
I'll have the milk. You have the mork. Even though you just touched this one.
I touched the wrapping.
Shut up.
This one is shaped like
This is like a little ice cream cone.
ice cream cone.
What's interesting is we could share these because they're big, actually.
Yeah, we could.
Anyway, bye. A hard chocolate. You know what, though? That's good.
That's all you want.
How's the dork chocolate?
This is good. Hershey's is terrible chocolate. Hershey's milk chocolate or special dark, it's just not up to snuff with what Denmark's got.
Wow.
I've never liked Hershey's chocolate. The second I started eating chocolate from other places, I realized that Denmark, you got Merc chocolate, milk chocolate. Hershey's just isn't up to snuff.
You know what's funny? We were at a holiday party with me and the in-laws.
Oh.
And the lady that lives in my house with me, her dad, he gets like 4 special chocolate bars for Christmas.
Special dark?
They're all types of flavors. They're the Lindt and the Lindor. These are special fancy chocolate bars. And he pulls them out of his stocking and he says, "Oh, these are the good ones." And he looks at everyone else who has their stockings and he says, "Did you guys get these?" And we all pull out Hershey's.
Wow.
Only he got the specials. Isn't that interesting?
This is not good. You want the good chocolate. You want to go to the world market. You want to go to
Yes.
some sort of festival. I don't know. But you want to get the ones where you go, oh, they have this weird, smooth Swiss Alpine chocolate over here. It's just you got to get that good stuff.
You want the good stuff. Well, I do anyway. That's why I go for Jacobson's. I give Jacobson on the whole.
Okay. Whoa.
I give it a 1. What did they do wrong? Absolutely nothing. All of these were delicious. Tell me what they did wrong. How can you deduct a point?
This year, first Medal of Honor I'll be giving out before I give a second one to Bruce Springsteen. Jacobson, make coffee, flavored chocolate, I mean. They make chocolate, make coffee. There's never been proven that they make coffee. But Henry Petter Jacobson, Og Niles Carl Jacobson, Verkeimen Bird Jacobson, Birder Herder Jacobson, of course. You get my highest recommendation, a Medal of Honor. Hi, it's me, Bill Clinton. Welcome to my master class. Yes, they are letting me do one.
And it's me, W. Bear.
I'm going to teach you how to paint.
And I'm going to teach you how to You
Hey.
paint? Hey.
Hey.
So, what do you give the chocolates, and then what do you give the Harry Potter Reunion Special? And then I'd like you to answer your own question.
I'd like to give the Harry Potter chocolates.
Alas, earwax.
I got a bogey flavored vomit. I give these chocolates a 1
Oh, you agree?
or 0.95.
Idiot.
I give the Harry Potter special a 10 out of 10.
Wow.
And I give the continual march of time a big fat goose egg. I don't want to see the 40th anniversary
Oh, can you?
because that's when you
believe
know it's been 40 years or whatever.
it? Yeah.
Has it been 20 years since the first one? And then 10. It's just like, give it. Is it just too soon? Because the 20th anniversary, wouldn't that normally be when something ends? I don't know.
Well, they've already lost so many of the cast.
That's probably the scary thing. But then the ones that you think they would have, like, we got to get Maggie Gyllenhaal in here or whatever.
Yeah, she probably was like, I'm not doing that.
I'm not coming all the way down there. I stopped flying on planes after we finished the last movie.
And they paid such reverence to Dusseldorf from the first two, and then he kicked the old can.
Yep.
And then they got the mean guy to play Dumbledore for the last few. They didn't even say anything about him.
No, they're just like, and then we got Rick.
They're like, yeah, he actually was mean.
By the way, probably pretty good.
I liked him too, actually.
You do wonder how they would have done the rest of it with that guy. Because there's a few scenes where he's pretty quick. Dusseldorf in the, like...
Yeah.
He, like, runs down the stairs and he's like, Harry, did you put your name in the goblet of fire? And he, like, grabs him and, like, squeezes his little neck against the wall. And he's like, Sir, what's the goblet?
Yeah.
Harry's dumb. He's not a smart kid.
No, Hermione's the star of the show, isn't she?
Hermione's the star and Ron's the glow-up.
If I were writing Harry Potter today, I would call it Hermione Potter.
Joe.
Yeah.
What do you think about the fact that no one really wants to see the Fantastic Beasts movies?
They come to me and they tell me, Sir, they made the Fantastic Beasts movies. I say, I've had Beats before. I think they're a good headphone, but sometimes the earbud gets stuck in my ear. Woo! But seriously, they say Jack, I say Jack. And they tell me the Fantastic Beats movies are coming out. I didn't see any of them yet. I look forward to seeing Johnny Depp not be in the movie, though. And I tell you,
he did a bad thing. Joe Rowling, scotch-free. Scotch-free.
Scotch-free. Scotch-free.
You can't make a subpar movie and then just say Tom Riddle. And we're all supposed to go like,
Is that what happened? I need to check those out.
I've seen the first one. Have I seen the second one? That's the thing. I don't.
Well, the first one is like, this is before Harry ever was
before
even
Harry.
a twinkle in his...
You know what also I don't like? I don't care about Wizards in America. Wow. We're the Wizards in America. Lumos. I like... In fact, some of the parts I don't like of Harry Potter are when they are just in London and you see the bridge snapping and you remember that people are real.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of there. Take me back to the castle.
Yeah.
I want to see the hog.
I want to go to...
I want to see Halbus's hog.
Yes, and go to the little Hogsmeade.
Go to Hogsmeade, where, he can't go because he doesn't have something signed by his parents.
Yes.
He drove a car in the sky to school. He burned a man's head off. And they know his situation.
Yeah, they know his...
He lives with...
He ain't got none.
I'm sorry. If you don't have your note signed by your guardians, you can't go to Hogsmeade, which is just like the outlet malls.
Yeah, it's like, it's like 3 stores, and it's like it's actually not that.
It's like an outdoor mall where it's like this is where you go to get your. And for the love of God, can I try some butterbeer once?
Thank you.
Hey, you know how much it is to go to see Harry Potter's studios, which is crazy. How many times have they done that? Where a movie. They're just like, leave it. People are going to tour this now.
Is that what that was, or was that just the Universal Wizarding World?
Well, there's the Leavesden Studios at Warner Brothers, or the Warner Brothers Studios in Leavesden, if you want to put it that way. But it's where they built the Great Hall.
Okay,
and
gotcha.
They have, I guess, a replica of Harry's house, but they have the bridge that they all walk on that magically shows up.
Right.
They've got different sets, but they left it all. Because normally you just tear that stuff down.
Well, yeah, that's
what
what
they found out. They can charge every wanker 25 pounds.
Yeah. Well, that's because Helena Gotham Carter takes David Ratcliffe around the back of the Gringotts.
And he was like, finally.
She's like, I'm going to jump on these tables. He's like, you're not. And then she's like, oh, look, they still got them. And it's the little guys at the bank. They're still there. And I was like, is that at the Universal Studios? No. Okay, so that's where that was.
No, that's at Warner Brothers. So you can go there and you can see some of Hogsmeade and Diagon Alley.
Could I snog at Hogsmeade?
You could snog at Hogsmeade.
Really? Do you really mean it, Father? Could I go to Hogsmeade and I could snog?
Maybe Warwick Davis will be hiding out there somewhere.
Boo! Gotcha!
Hey, as far as reunions go, this one was pretty good though.
Yeah.
Like I watched after I watched Game of Thrones, they did like a little Game of Thrones wrap up.
That's too soon.
Well, yes, it was. And it was kind of awkward because it was just for the cast and crew, and Conan hosted it. So he's joking around, and they're all like, some of them are jokey, and some of them are like, this was the finest cast and crew I've ever been a part of. And Conan's like, yeah, I got drunk in Dublin once. Whatever. He's doing comedy. They're all doing whatever they're doing. Anyway, it's not very good. You're not getting anything. And these are all puff pieces. It's like when Disney does any of their behind-the-scenes stuff now for the Star Wars stuff or the Marvel stuff. It's like, everything was great, and Kevin Feige is awesome, and Jon Favreau gets along with everyone, and everyone likes working here. Give me the real stuff. Give me George Lucas in the screening room of episode 1 saying, I think I've gone too far. Give me some good meat.
Yeah.
I feel like this reunion special at least gave a little more of that.
I think they did to a point where they knew they still needed it to be. This is supposed to be a celebration of Harry Potter.
Yes, of course.
But yeah, touch on. I know that going and doing this job for 10 years wasn't like.
Yeah.
I know how lucky. Yes, you're also lucky, and it was probably the best job you're ever gonna have.
Right. Of course.
But
of course.
I do also want to hear about like, okay, but really, which they've talked about in other interviews, as I have become well aware of.
I know. I got to go check all those
Where
out.
Ron
Send me a
Weasley-
link.
What's this guy's name? He's like, it was kind of like, he's like, for 10 years you go to the same places, the same sets with the entire same crew.
Yeah.
And at one point you're just like, I want to do something else because you feel like you're stuck for a decade
Sure.
doing these movies.
Sure.
And you're not experiencing the same way as other people.
Right.
You're just making them, and then other people are like, these are so great, you're so magical. And he's like, what are you talking about? I went to the bathroom in the loo.
Yeah.
And the fans are like, what?
I think it was less awkward than some of the reunions that I've seen.
Well,
though.
because I think they all do get along, and they are all nice people.
Yeah, I think they're genuinely actually nice people.
And they like talking about it. As Daniel Radcliffe might tell you in one of his interviews, he said, I do not get tired talking to people about it.
Yeah, that is
He's
nice.
like, it's very important to people.
Yeah.
And I'm very lucky. And I said, great.
Yeah.
Good for you.
That is nice. And I'm glad that, because Emma Watson then like kind of retired from acting, but now she's back.
She said, goodbye.
She went to college or whatever, and was like, come on.
Yeah, no, okay, now you're going to go to Harvard?
Yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, come on now. I put this reunion at a 9.
I put this reunion at a 9.
I think it's on par with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion, which did go into some very dark places that I appreciated. Now, that's a good reunion special. If you're a fan of the show, you got to check that out.
When the aunt's like, everyone bullied me.
Yeah.
And he's like, shut up.
Will's like, I'm sorry that I ruined your career for the last 40 years, but I hope this makes up for
If
it.
there's anything I can do. And she's like, let me on your trailer. And he's like, what? She's like, let me on your trailer. Your big trailer. It has the ceiling that expands 12 more feet.
He's
That-
like,
and he's like, not going to happen. She's like, I just want to go onto it.
I think she's on a show now, though.
Have you seen Will Smith's trailer? He doesn't have it anymore.
No.
It's crazy.
All these guys, The Rock has a gym that travels with him.
It was
These
like
guys
a
have so much money, it's insane.
It was like the top would raise, so then there was all these like windows around the top.
Wow.
And he would use it on every movie that he was on. He would like have someone drive it there. He's like, yeah, I'll do the movie, but I'm gonna live in this house.
That's kind of cool.
That's the way to do it.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, I could.
Bye.
Bye.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.